Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. I am an ordained minister, and we're in Bible study. So we are in the NIV, and we will be through 2025, and we are in Exodus chapter 24, and we're going to do all of it. It looks like it's probably only about 17 verses, maybe 18. One long 17. Or there's an 18 in there, and I just can't tell because I'm not staring close enough. Old lady eyes, that's what I call it. The covenant confirmed, chapter 24, verse 1. Then he said to Moses, "Come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 of the elders of Israel." So these are the people who are the heads of families, okay? "You are to worship at a distance, but Moses alone is to approach the Lord. The others must not come near, and the people may not come up with him." When Moses went and told the people all the Lord's words and laws, they responded in one voice, "Everything the Lord said we will do." Moses then wrote down everything the Lord had said. He got up early the next morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain and set up 12 stone pillars representing the 12 tribes of Israel. This building stone pillars is a traditional thing. Like, it's what they're, back in the Genesis videos, it's what they're doing. Jacob, before they went into Egypt, before he felt safe to go into Egypt to see Joseph for that one last, time, because he would spend the rest of his life there, he went to a monument that he had built before, poured out an offering for the Lord, and then went to sleep that night and got the all clear to head into Egypt without fear. So it is a ceremonial thing for them. That means each one of these tribes is, promising God to follow these rules for every member in their family, because that's who they are. Then it's verse 5. Then he sent young Israelite men, and they offered burnt offerings and sacrificed young bulls as fellowship offerings. And then we got a footnote of D, or a traditional peace offerings. Fellowship meaning peace offerings to the Lord. Moses took half of the blood and put it in bowls, and the other half he sprinkled on the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it to the people. They responded, "We will do everything the Lord has said. We will obey." That's a rough one, especially for somebody like me. I am very, very stubborn. I'm very willful. Ooh, obey is hard. So, yeah. Moses then took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, "This is the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words." So, if you are of a descent from any of these people, they pre-promised your obedience with blood. Okay. Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel went up and saw the God of Israel. Under his feet was something like a pavement made of sapphire. So sapphire is a blue stone, so shiny blue surface, or lapis lazuli. Okay, so again, that's a blue. So sapphires can come in various colors. Lapis lazuli usually comes in a very dark blue. I'm not wearing any at the moment, or I would show you, but I would be able to show you when it comes in. I have ordered a cross made of lapis lazuli, and I'm just waiting for it to come in. So I'll be happy to share it on the channel when it gets in. But God did not raise, we're in verse 11, his hand against these leaders of the Israelites. They saw God, and they ate and drank. Okay, so he did not smite them or anything because he said, okay, they can be there. The Lord said to Moses, come up to me on the mountain and stay here, and I will give you the tablet of stone with the law and the commands I have written for their instructions. Like, okay. Then Moses set out with Joshua, his aide, and Moses went up on the mountain of God. Now, Joshua is particularly important, and you should pay attention because he will follow Moses quite frequently, and he almost becomes like Moses' successor. So, he's of interest whenever he gets brought up. He said to the elders, wait here for us until we come back to you. Aaron and Hur are with you, and anyone involved in a dispute can go to them. When Moses went up on the mountain, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai. For 6 days the cloud covered the mountain, and on the 7th day the Lord called to Moses from within the cloud. To the Israelites, the glory of the Lord looked like a consuming fire on top of the mountain. So much like a volcano looking like it's erupting, I would imagine, or a fire at the top of the mountain. Then Moses entered the cloud, and he went up the mountain, and he stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. So God wanted to commune with him for sure. This is a long conversation. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy, and I'm an ordained minister. We are in Bible study. We are in the NIV, and we will be through 2025. In 2026, we'll start the KJV. We have a bunch of different versions of the Bible, so we're just going to keep doing different ones. For the time being, it's going to take me at a 2-year pace to get through the Bible because I work. So it's hard. This is my hobby. I come on here because this is what I like. It helps to center me, and I hope it centers other people as well. So in this video, we are in Exodus chapter 25, and Moses has been called up the mountain to have a very long talk, a 40-day 40-night talk with God. And Joshua, his aide, is up there with him. Not even his brother, but Joshua, his aide, who in the last video I told you will basically become Moses' successor. So pay attention to Joshua. It's important. Okay. So, chapter 25. The offering for the tabernacle. Okay. So, God brought him up here because he wants to give him instructions. So this here, also all part of the Mosaic Law, because he's going to give them their instructions. The tabernacle here is essentially like, well, let's get in. 25, verse 1. The Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites to bring me an offering. You are to receive the offering for me from each man whose heart prompts him to give. These are the offerings you would receive from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, goat hair, ram skins dyed red, and hides of sea cows, or that is dugongs, so I guess that's like their equivalent of a sea cow, acacia wood, olive oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incenses, and onyx stones and other gemstones to be mounted on the ephod and breastplate. Then have them make a sanctuary for me, a place I dwell among them. Make this the tabernacle and all its furnishings exactly like the pattern I will show you. So it is the tent. The tabernacle is the tent that the ark is going to end up being in. So, which is, well, we'll get into it because that's literally the next paragraph is the ark. So the tabernacle is important. But it's also important to note that the tabernacle then for us is any place of worship, because that's what's in there. The place where the sacrifices are, the place where God lives, which also you could make the argument for us being a tabernacle, because this is where our soul lives, and we are a divine expression. We are connected to him in every moment. So we are also a tabernacle. It's an interesting thought, right? So the ark, verse 10. Have them make a chest of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. I always find that fascinating. That is about 3 3/4 feet, or about 1.1 meters long, and 2 1/4 feet, and about 0.07 meters wide and high. Now, I find that particularly fascinating for a reason. I find it fascinating because, like I have stated before, I live in Tucson, Arizona. It's the desert. Acacia trees grow here. So my brain looks at it and go, "What? Okay, but they're not like an oak, because oaks can have like bases bigger than me. There are oaks in the world that are wider than I am tall." But okay, so I can understand big gigantic boards from that, but an acacia tree is not really a gigantically thick trunked tree. I mean, it's not quite as skinny as what ashes are, but and that's only because ashes are, really like nothing. So, like, how are you going to make wood, like boards, out of that? This makes more sense because this is about the dimensions. You wouldn't be able to get really, big pieces of dimensional lumber from this kind of tree. It just isn't that size tree. It's not that you can't turn it to boards. It's just that the boards are only going to be so big. Overlay it. This is verse 11. Overlay it with pure gold, both inside and out. Make a gold molding around it. Cast 4 gold rings for it and fasten them to its 4 feet, with 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Then make poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Insert the poles into the rings on the side of the chest to carry it. The poles are to remain in the rings of this ark. They are not to be removed. Then put in the ark of the testimony, which I will give you. Now, these are the tablets of this that we're getting to here, like what we think of as the 10 Commandment tablets. This is the Mosaic Law. That's what's supposed to go into this ark. And he's talking about long poles that go through rings on each side so you can counterbalance the carrying weight of this box, which only has dimensions of about 3 3/4 feet, long. So it's a 4-foot long box by just a little over a 2-foot, wide box. Okay. So not exactly very long, not exactly very big. So the poles only would have to be so wide. Now heavier, because you've just coated everything in gold. Okay. Verse 17. Make an atonement cover, see, traditionally a mercy seat. So that's a space. Make an atonement cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. Okay. So the atonement cover. Sorry there. Needed to get rid of that sweatshirt jacket. The atonement cover, or mercy seat, is of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. Now that's with a footnote of D, and that is 3 3/4 feet, or about 1.1 meters long, and 2 1/4 feet, about 0.7 meters wide. So it's about the same, size. It's like the exact same size, actually. It's the exact same size of the ark itself. And make 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. So those are the 2. Make 1 cherubim on one end and the second cherubim on the other. Make the cherubim of one piece with the cover at the 2 ends. So the cover itself are both that have the cherubim at each end. The cherubim are to have their wings spread upward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim are to face each other, looking towards the cover. So the angels are turned towards, because that's what a cherubim is. It's a choir of angel. So they're facing towards each other. They're looking down at the cover, and their wings are spread over it as well. There's plenty of pictures one can look at for a generation of what the Ark of the Covenant would have looked like. Many people have done 3D image work of it that I'm sure is much better than anything I could try to put together. The cherubim have their wings spreading upward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim are to face each other, looking towards the cover. Place the cover on the top of the ark and put the ark put in the ark the testimony which I will give you. There, above the cover, between the 2 cherubim that are over the ark of the testimony, I will meet you, and it will give you my commands for the Israelites. So, God is saying that in this ark, with these cherubim and their wings facing each other, because they're just pointing their wings in this forward direction, because they're basically bowed and staring. God is going to come float over here, and that's where he's going to talk to Moses from. The table, the ark, a God communication box, dialogue. The table, verse 23. Make a table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, 2 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. So that is about, that is about 3 feet or 0.9 meters long, and about 1.5 feet or 0.5 meters wide, and 2.25 feet, about 0.7 meters high. So again, we're talking about, so it's a table. I mean, you get it. You're talking about the dimensions of the table. Overlay it with pure gold and make a gold molding around it. Also make around it a rim, a handbreadth having a footnote with F, handbreadth that is about 3 inches or 8 centimeters. So it is specific. Wide, and put a gold molding on the rim. Make 4 gold rings for the table and fasten them to the 4 corners where the legs are. So those rings are around where the leg would be in the corner of the table. Make a pole of acacia wood, make poles of acacia wood, overlay them with gold, and carry the table with them. Okay, and so you're carrying the table by the legs. You will later put underneath it to make it a table. So it's a table you can disassemble and put that back together that is completely molded in gold. Gold overlay, or gold filigree, if you will. Overload them with gold caseware, and make its plates and dishes of pure gold, as well as its pitchers and bowls for the pouring out of offerings. Put the bread of the presence on this table to be before me at all times. So that's why this table is so expensive. It's because everything that is to be presented to God in this moving tent church with their dialogue box is to be presented to him on this table. Okay. The lampstand. Verse 31. Make a lampstand of pure gold, hammer out, base and shaft. Its flower-like cups, buds and blossoms shall be of one piece, or shall be one piece with it. Ooh. Shall be of one piece with it. That was actually correct. Oh my goodness. 6 branches are to extend from the sides of the lampstand. 3 on one side and 3 on the other. So make it look like a tree. I find that very amusing. Is this really what they're saying? Make it look like a flowery tree. That's kind of... I sit here for a second like this because you guys don't know anything. But I've got a lamp over there that's like a lampstand that literally looks like it's a tree. And it's as if it's got this hanging basket going on it that makes it look like it's a flower, and that is where the light comes from. So there. I'm just... Okay, I get you. And I can visualize it because I can see it. So, okay. Hang on a second, actually. So, like this. See? Except where I have those places, these are oil lamps that would be hanging from there. Whereas for mine, of course, is electric, because that's how I live. And they're so, of course, hammered gold and pure. And so, that shape. 6 branches are to extend from the sides of the lampstand, 3 on one side and 3 on the other. 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossom are to be on one branch. So 3 spots for oil, because they pour oil in there and that's how they're getting light. 3 on the next branch, and the same for all 6 branches extended from the lampstand. And on the lampstand there are to be 4 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. 1 bud shall be under the first pair of branches extending from the lampstand, and the second bud under the second pair, and the third bud under the third pair. 6 branches in all. And the buds and the branches shall be of one piece with the lampstand, hammered out of pure gold. So shaped out of pure gold. Now, instead of dripping down like mine are, they need them to be up, because they have to pour the oil in, and it has to stay stable for them to light it in order to give the light up. So rather like, how we would imagine a menorah. But instead of putting candles in there like we do today, because we can, to spots to fill with oil instead. Then is verse 37. Then make 7 lamps and set them up on it, so that they light the space in front of it. Yep. So they can see the ark and they can talk. Its wick trimmers and trays are to be of pure gold. A talent, so G with a footnote, that is about 75 pounds, or about 34 kilograms of pure gold is to be used for the lampstand and for all these accessories. See that you make them according to the pattern shown to you on the map. This is very specific, because all of these things are going to be considered consecrated and holy, because they will be in the presence of God all the time. Unless, even when they're mobile, because he's following them around in a cloud, plus he's everywhere all at once. So, because quantum entanglement says any 2 points of light are touching at any one moment in existence. And the astrophysicists have some theory now about electrons can move backwards and forwards in time, so everything is just actually one electron and not several. But they have to prove that still with real study and math and science. Wouldn't that be trippy? But I wonder if that's what it means when they say God is everywhere and he's all of us all at once. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. I'm an ordained minister. We're in Bible study. We're in the NIV. We will be through 2025. Well, through the end of 2025. We are in Psalms, Book 1, Psalm 30, and we're going to do all of it. This is a psalm or song for the dedication of the temple with a footnote of a palace, and it's a song of David. Now, here's the thing to note. David did build the palace, not the temple. But David was alive when Solomon started building the temple. And he started doing the prep work for the temple before Solomon took over for anything. God said he couldn't build it. He didn't say he couldn't help his son build it. So it could very well be a song he sang at the palace opening that he wrote for the temple. I will exalt you, O Lord, for you lifted me out of the depths and did not let my enemies gloat over me. O Lord, my God, I called to you for help and you healed me. O Lord, you brought me up from the grave. You spared me from going down to the pit. Amen to that. Sing to the Lord, you saints of his. Praise his holy name. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may remain for a night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. When I felt secure, I said, I will never be shaken. O Lord, when you favored me, you made my mountain stand firm. But when you hid your face, I was dismayed. To you, O Lord, I called. To the Lord, I cried for mercy. What gain is there in my destruction? In my going down into the pit? Will dust praise you? Will it proclaim your faithfulness? Hear me, O Lord, and be merciful to me. O Lord, be my help. You turned my wailing into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy, that my heart may sing to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give you thanks forever. Amen.